Hello, I am Jamie, and this is my Wind Choice AOT deck that I got top 8 at the Cardiff BCS this weekend. Managed to pick up this rather ugly looking Arifureta mat. Unfortunately, I need to keep it because it's the first top 8 mat that I've actually managed to pick up from a BCS, so it's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. So we'll just jump straight into the deck profile, and starting at the level 0s, we ran 4, obviously, of the Armin runner. It's just a good card, just a center runner, and 3/5 if you have 5 or more hand. We ran 3 of the Armin Brainstorm. This is the best Brainstorm to run, even if you're running the Wind level 1 combo. I did test a little bit Mikasa level 0 Brainstorm, but this just puts in way more work. Both the second mode to salvage climaxes is really clutch sometimes. This Brainstorm is fantastic. I ran 1 Erin Titan. This is mostly for the power pump, but also very nice to just draw an extra card if you don't see your climax. And you top check with your Historia. You see a climax, you can just grab this back and then draw that climax straight off the top. So, and this puts in some good work sometimes. It was good for me this weekend. I recommend running this. And the 2/5 pump, if you have a full board on play, is also very useful for your level 1 combo. The Levi Ricky we ran as a 4 of. I would probably cut this down if I was going to make this deck again, but I just ran 4 of the day. As I said, I didn't really test this deck very much going into the event. I kind of just had an idea of what might be pretty good and just kind of built it with what I had. I would make some changes to it, but I'm not going to discuss those in this video. I'll probably just put that on Encore decks at some point. 3 of the Gabby. This is needed for the mill because your level 1 combo just does not mill you. So you need some way of getting through your deck if things start to go bad, and this card put in so much work this weekend. Glad I run 3 of it actually. Some people normally only run 2. 3 worked for me, especially with this level 1 combo. And to round out the 0s, the last thing I played was this Historia. This needs to be increased because this is probably the best card in the deck. I would bump this up over the Levi Ricky, maybe do something like this and run 2 of the Historia instead, because you really want to see this card as often as you can. For level 1s, we obviously ran the centerpiece of the level 1 game, which is the Wind Erin. People have not really tried this, but with sort of online getting banned and Slime taking a bit of a hit, this card is actually pretty good. There wasn't a single matchup where I couldn't reverse level 1. I would say the only time you're really going to super struggle with this card is if you're playing against Overlord, but I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of Overlord at this event. Not many people have it over here, so I felt safe running this. This card actually put in a lot of work all day. This card was incredible, I'm not going to lie. This level 1 combo was so good. The fact that it's on Wind was also incredibly good. Too many matchups where the Wind was important. I played against Gura, managing to bounce their Guras back to hand. I played against 8 Gold Bar Avatar, bouncing back their early play Toffs back to hand. And in round 6 against Ichika as well, when they set up their early play board, bouncing one of those and then denying them the scry, as well as opening up the free lane for the direct, ended up being very clutch. So the Wind trigger actually put in a lot of work today. The combo also put in a lot of work, being a natural +2 every time you reverse. You don't need to reverse multiple lanes. Just getting the 1 reverse off is probably enough to keep your hand size full. Getting 2 reverses off is just really good. And obviously, all 3 is the dream. I think there was only 3 games maximum today that I resolved all 3 at level 1. You don't really need to. You just need a couple. So the rest of the level 1 game, we run 2 of the old 1/0 Erin. This is just a global power pump in your turn. It's kind of needed for the level 1 combo, to be honest, still. Just because it makes it annoyingly big on attack. If you have full board of Erin, Mikasa, or Armin's, then your level 1 combo is swinging in at 8/5 base. If you have one of these in the back row, you can rest and make one of them 9k. That's getting over pretty much anything. And again, you need to reverse 2 lanes, so if you're against 8 standby Hololive or something like that, you can always get the extra power pump onto the Erins onto those 2 other lanes and make sure that you get over a couple of polkas or something like that and they can't really do anything about it. which is really nice. So this card is still kind of necessary only because there are a couple of decks out there that are looking to still get pretty big at level 1. I run 2 of these Connies. Now, I only ran the Connie for Quince. I was actually expecting more Nino than there was. I think there was probably only 2 Nino players in the entire event. This card did absolutely nothing for me all day. I would cut this in a heartbeat like that, especially if you're not expecting Quince. Take this out. I would have much preferred running some other sort of utility at level 1, or even running more level 0s to get yourself out of some tricky situations. The Armin Rize would have been really good today. Maybe some drop searches or drop salvage instead would be clutch in this slot. So if you're not expecting Quince, I probably wouldn't run this. Even in the slime matchup against their 1-0s with Clock on Call, this doesn't really do anything, so I would just cut it completely. And obviously the 4 gears for the Erin, because you need them. This card is extremely good. At the moment, you can save multiple lanes, your Erins can bounce back, and then if they attack in the wrong order, Erin can bounce back, then you can save another lane. Obviously with gear, thins your deck, grabs you anything you need, which is very useful. One of the issues with the Mikasa level 1 combo that I found was that getting the correct pieces at the right time was really annoying. This fixes that issue. Worst case, you can bounce your Erins back, hold these, and the next turn, if you get to if you get pushed up to level 2 or level 3, you can actually just use them and pitch the Erins that just bounced back to go and grab exactly what you need in that situation. So these were incredibly useful and very clutch. And for level 2s, 2 Keen Mind Armin. I don't really need to explain much about this card. It's fantastic. At level 2, it helps your level 1 Erin combo get over almost anything that you can imagine with the 2/5 pump and hexproof. Saves your early plays and changes into the really, really good level 3 Erin. And I ran a free fresh that I didn't even use today. I would be running a memory kick if I was running this again, but I couldn't get any of the memory kicks in time. And not getting the memory kick in time was one of the reasons I actually lost my top 8 game, apart from the fact that it was an absolutely miserable game. Not having the memory kick in my deck at all meant that I couldn't go and grab it against the Soccer. He made 2 lanes not backupable, and the last lane I could have memory kicked because that's where the Soccer was, because the Azulas needed to be in the other lane. So this would have come in clutch, but alas, didn't have it. It is what it is. And level 3. We are running 4 of the Erin Titan, obviously, the level 3 game. So the reason we're running this, a couple of reasons. It lets us use our stock elsewhere, which is extremely useful, especially mid-game for this deck, because we do have decently high stock requirement. You need to play the 2/1 Armin realistically, you need to be spamming your early plays realistically. And this card still has decent reach. It can still get there. If I had one more of this in my hand in top 8, I might have maybe been able to clinch out the game. Sometimes this card just misses and it feels really bad. Sometimes this card hits and it feels incredibly good. I had no issues with this all day. As a finisher, I think it's absolutely more than competent. And again, if you're looping gears, you can grab as many of them as you want when you hit the level that you need to be at. So you don't really need to worry about grabbing too many of them early. Just get your gears to hand and then you can go and grab the rest when it's time. For the other level 3s, I ran 3 of the Erin early play. And this card is absolutely incredible. All day this card was absolutely fantastic. Just having this sit in the front, playing a 2/1 Armin, giving him the hexproof and the 2/5, you can get over anything. And having the natural stock bomb in your turn just means you can remove any targets if you ever need to. It just clears the way, it clears board. It's big enough, and obviously just being a healer is really nice. 4 or more condition is really good for this deck, because it's so easy to get the 4 or more condition compared to the 2 or less, because you're not milling quite as hard as you are in the Mikasa deck. It becomes way easier to play in this one, but I think this is the one that you always play anyway, so yeah, this is a fantastic card. 2 of the level 3 Armin, don't really need to say much about this. The level 2 changes into this. This is your powerhouse against certain decks. This is going to be very, very clutch against Overlord and clutch against Avatar. Unfortunately, my top 8 game against Avatar went so horribly, I couldn't even find one of this in my hand to change into. So that was a truly miserable game. Didn't find any of my gears, didn't find any of my Armins. But this comes in really good against Avatar, denying the no backups in a lane, so you can get your memory kick off if you run it, you can get your free fresh off if you run it, and the top X's obviously means it goes hand neutral, so you don't have to commit too much to actually getting this out. And with gear, this becomes very, very searchable at level 2, so you can very easily get your 2-1 arm into this much more consistently than I found in the other build. And last but not least, I run 1 Mikasa Morning. I used this once to, and it actually won the game that I used it because of this card. They had very good compression. I think they were like one climax in their bin, and they had maybe 15 or 16 cards. And you don't need climaxes in the deck for the Aerin Titan, you just need zeros. So you still slam this down, and you still shuffle back, and then you still just go hard with the Aerin Titan, and it got there. If this was just climaxes, then this would obviously become a lot worse and probably not needed, but because this is zeros, it's just an easy way to decompress them into going for your finishing turn. So if you manage to heal loop at 2, and then they hit 3 first, they're going to probably dump quite a decent amount of their stock, and then this comes in useful. But this only came in useful 1 game. I would still recommend running it, because when you need it, it wins you the game. So you can go and search it whenever you need it, and otherwise you can just ignore it. So that was it.